to your base?
Yes.
Oh God, I hope we're not cum stacking. We fucked up that guy. Wait,
Oh, yeah,
she didn't lock her fucking doors? What is she doing?
I don't know.
Who doesn't lock their fucking
Where's
doors?
the fucking $150,000
I mean,
can?
she probably is expecting that a place is like, not gonna have
true,
cars
yeah,
stolen,
probably right.
Yeah, she probably doesn't think that, they got a bunch of fucking deadbeat owners. Oh, Dubai.
Yeah, but I wouldn't buy this. This kind of flips way too easy.
You don't want to, or you want to?
No, I wouldn't buy this one. This one flips way too easy.
Yeah, the other one is actually a lot better. I think that one is probably the best fucking SUV that I've ever been inside of. The one that we just stole from Cassie.
You know the best thing I've ever been inside of?
Pussy.
Your mom.
Not my mom.
Yeah,
Your mom's pussy.
no, your own mom. You said it first. You said it. I said it first. Is this still going? No, the live stream is concluded. Okay, good.
Man, this pizza's really good.
Top of the fucking hour, boys. This is a 60-second ad break for you.
Oh, boys. So Jacob told me if I can consistently bring him 2,000 electronics, he'll teach me how to fix the phones.
Really?
I'm telling you right now,
shit.
sanitation plus digital den is a fucking gold mine if people are willing to do it.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Really?
100%.
Bro, I
Don't
am
tell anybody
fucking
else.
down.
Don't tell anybody else.
Yeah, sanitation's really good money. We can easily get 2,000 recyclable materials or 2,000 electronics a day. Easily.
Bro, I am down for like anything that's like even like different. You know what I mean?
Right.
I like
the trash.
sanitation. I haven't really fucked with, so.
I mean, it's not a gold mine. It makes very little money. Nobody should do it, or definitely change how you
fuck
do
that
it.
shit.
It's only profitable if you work at the digital den. So, no one else should really be doing it.
True. I mean, there's a lot of digital den people, so you're gonna wanna. It's still worth keeping close to the chest. You know what I mean?
Right.
I made the mistake of not ordering drinks. I kind of want to drink tonight. Pepe hands.
No,
whatever
I
that
cannot
means.
drink.
You, yeah.
I
You
drank
had
a
good
full
time.
bottle of
Did you enjoy
champagne
Is
yourself
this
last
last
night.
fucking Thursday already?
It
Yeah.
is.
Holy shit. Time is flying.
You know what else is fine?
What's that?
My cock and Don's mom's pussy.
Oh, you
Shit's got
motherfuckers.
wings. Right, where they at? Where they at, you know?
Oh, that looks like it's him.
Hello.
Hey, where should we link up at? Where should we go? I guess right here is fine.
Oh, right here. I mean, this is where we talked before.
Good to see you, sis. Good to see you. Bring it in,
How's it
Sissy
going,
Wizzy.
Tony?
I think we should have masks for this, regardless.
Okay, then you're gonna look fucking bait as shit, Donnie. Take the mask off.
I mean, all I'm saying is
Look,
fucking
if
the
Sis
cops
gets
rolled
spotted,
up
I mean-
last time we were here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but what are they gonna
move
say?
Further,
Like,
we could move further down if you want.
Look, I got a spot. Get in your car and follow me.
I mean, I think Nino just enjoys the spot ever since I
Hey,
showed
sis,
him.
are your
so-
boys coming in?
I love it. I fucking
No,
love
I don't
it.
even know. I just woke up. I don't even know if they're around.
All
Look,
right.
I know a secret spot here. Follow me.
I feel like his boy should be here for this that he's doing this with, right?
If he says he don't want his boys here,
Yeah.
then no boys here. We don't have to explain to them. We just explain to the boss. You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at
Well, I
it.
hope so. I hope it doesn't come back because his boys had different opinion, right?
I mean,
I'm worried about the same thing Lang is. But I mean, he made the choice, right?
True.
The
True.
elevator.
Okay.
So what's going on?
Does this thing move or no?
Of course
Okay.
it moves, Donnie. It's an elevator.
I mean, I'm assuming you guys had. I mean, my talk with Nino yesterday seemed like we were just gonna wait it out. So I don't know. I guess I don't know what this meeting's for, but I guess you guys can just lay it out for me.
Didn't you only need to wait on the fee, or is there other things?
No, I need it. No, I said at least like a week.
But wasn't that just for the fees?
No, what? No. What do you mean
else did
fees?
you? The cooking fee.
Oh no, I said that. I said that I needed to figure out what that even looks like, and that I didn't even put like anything on that, like no numbers or anything.
So you're saying none of us know why we're here right now?
I don't. I
I
thought
don't
it
need-
was pretty clear yesterday.
I don't think it was.
The thing is, sis, all we want to know is exactly what you want. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was clear as well.
Well,
Well,
at
that's
first-
why we're here, right? So, what is your desire?
That we all work together so that way we can, get the most out of this as possible. I feel like I did explain this in the massive meeting.
Right. The massive meeting.
I mean, Tony wasn't there, but
I mean,
The ma-
yeah, I wasn't there.
The massive meeting. We agreed that you were going to cook, right? Because of this train, all that bullshit.
yeah, we were gonna coexist, and you guys were gonna like kind of figure things out on your end, and we were just gonna kind of sit with that, and we would revisit, when maybe when you guys learned a little bit more about the process.
Right. But now, is all you want to do is actually cook, or do you want contingencies tied to that? For example, that finder's fee you mentioned, which I can't remember if you mentioned the first time, right?
No, well, I mean, it's not anything. I feel like you guys are harping on the fee, but I don't think it would be anything major. The idea is that at the end of the day, there'd be so much money coming in that I don't think am I operating the lab like just for free, or? I mean, it's just it wouldn't be anything major.
So so the reason why the four of us are here is it's better for all four of us to be here and to kind of put everything on the table as
Oh,
to
yeah, I agree.
what it is that you're currently thinking as to how this is going to work together. There's a lot of questions that came up yesterday. There's a lot of points that came up. Who's going to be distributing? Who's going to be doing this?
Oh,
Who's going to
geez,
be doing
sorry.
that? Oh.
I believe.
So instead of us relaying, instead of there being a relay of information, we're all for here. So if there's any questions, all that can kind of be put on the table. My understanding coming out of that meeting yesterday is that you needed time, namely to figure out what the cooking fee would be.
No,
That was the
what?
only-
That was not even the conversation. What we literally agreed on everything we talked about yesterday. I thought it was a mutual understanding.
It was.
But you're talking about this fee. That's the only thing you walked away with? The fee? I didn't
No,
even harp
what-
on the fee.
Yeah, but why would you need more than a week other than the fee?
Because I'm trying to fine tune the fucking product. That's the point. I thought that
Okay.
was obvious.
All right, so the product time, but what?
Yes. That's what I said yesterday.
What's the confusion?
I don't know, because you're harping on the fee, and that was not like a major point.
So when you said you needed a week, I don't know what the week is going to entail. So let's just put it out on the table. What is this going to look like?
I don't know what do you mean? What is it going to look like? I need time to fine tune the product so I can bring the best product to the table. This is what I've been saying this since day one. I thought
Right,
this
right.
was clear.
So the product is fine tuned. You have the best product at the table. Do you only want
Yeah.
to cook, or is there more to it? Is there more that you want out of it, or are you simply is your desire just simply to come into the lab, cook, we get the bags, we push your product?
Well, I mean, obviously, I would want some like kickback on it. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying. Finder's fee, but I don't have any numbers right now because I don't know what that looks like. I'm trying to get the most possible out of it.
Let's roll this back. I think we need to recap everything because I don't think you understand what I'm asking, and I'm not sure where the confusion is. Last night, right? I think we were in agreement that we originally wanted it when we had the big meeting. We talked about coexistence, right? We didn't talk about cooperation. Am I right?
I mean, we touched on it, but you guys.
We touched on it, and we agreed that we would only coexist.
No, well, the idea was that you said you wanted to experience it for yourself, which I said was fair.
Yes.
Like, you guys can do that and, gain whatever intel you want to gain on your own merit. And, and that was fine, and that's where we settled it.
All right. And then yesterday, I brought up that we are now considering cooperation, right? Whether that's going to look like setting a price, how many bags are going to be made, etc., etc. So the reason we're here, and as I said, we're going to set up a meeting the day after so that my three partners here can collectively have this conversation in case there's any aspects of it that we are concerned with. So,
okay.
You said, but now you're saying you need a week to have this conversation. That's
I
what's
said
got
this
me a little.
yesterday.
You needed a week, and I know,
yes,
and I understand
I said
that.
this yesterday.
So, but what about the rest? We can talk about everything else, can we not?
Yeah, but we don't know any of the other stuff. Like I said yesterday, I have no numbers.
Okay.
I'm not gonna bring you guys nothing and just be like, hey, can we work this out and not know what the full potential is of it? Like, I don't even know. So what the fuck would be the point? Wasting your time, wasting my time. There's no point in that.
So there's a couple things that I think we can key off on to even see whether this is going to make sense. So originally, you wanted to be the cook, right?
Yeah.
And you want to remain to be the cook. It makes sense for all of us.
But keep in mind, we did have that original plan before, where your idea was 2 strains in the first place. Either or could work. Nothing's really off the table. We've discussed all of this.
Okay, but do you prefer? Well, what exactly do you want, sis, for this partnership to be solidified? In your perfect world, if you're running this operation, what do you want? Do you want just to be the cook, or do you want to control more than that, or what is it? Right?
Well, it's more so what you guys are. I understand that you guys have concerns from what was brought up yesterday, right? About scheduling and the fact that I might not necessarily be around. I understand that, which is why, I said to Nino, hey, maybe we go back to the 2-strain idea and we revisit that and try to work that out. I mean, that's entirely possible as well.
But that's why we're having this conversation, right? Like, there's the numbers and how much the shit sells for, and all this stuff that you got to figure out. These are all variables that can be sorted out another, in a week from now, right? So, like, but there's some core fundamentals that we can still discuss.
Yeah. So again, all right. So throwing it out there, right? In my mind, whether it's A or B, I feel like Pegasus would be distributing to other individuals, and then in my mind, the Vagos would be distributing at a street level. I feel like they would be 2 entirely separate operations. And from there, the profits would trickle up to all of us, if that makes sense. Number-wise, I don't know what that looks like yet, which is why I'm saying I need time.
Yeah, but I don't think the numbers is something that needs to be figured out right now, right? We can wait.
No, that's what I was...
Exactly.
So, that's
what I said.
Do you want Pegasus to essentially distribute to the Vagos, or is that something you plan on doing, on your own?
No, I think it should be direct, that they get product direct and then Pegasus gets product direct. You know what I mean? So like one handles a completely different market than the other, essentially.
All right. And when it comes to you cooking, do we keep all the bags, or you said you wanted a fee, right?
Yeah, but I don't know what that looks like because we don't know numbers or anything like that. So I'm not. I'm not harping on the fee. I'm just saying.
Right,
I
right.
mean,
But
the alternative
it's not a
is that
matter of the numbers. It's a matter of at the end of the day, you would like some fee, some sort of fee for it, whatever that number is. At the end of the day, you want a fee, right?
I mean, I don't know, something. It could be small. I mean, if you guys are covering the cost of the batch or something like that, I don't know. I have no idea. But if it's going to be a matter of like I wake up early or something like that, and change my schedule up to make it happen, I can do that. I just need like at least a little bit of kickback or something. But I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be that. I don't think it's going to matter in the grand scheme of things because I feel like everybody's going to. It's going to be if it all works, everybody's going to be making money hand over fist anyway.
Right. And when it comes to cooking, are we going to be producing the same amount of, bags per week, or you know what I mean? Are you going to cook as much in our lab as you would for your own lab?
Well, that's where we have to kind of decide. I figured we just pull everything together, maybe in a warehouse or something, and then we do, half of it goes to Pegasus and half of it goes to the Vagos. You know what I mean? No matter what that number looks like, I mean, we should have a target number. If it's cooking every other day, if it's cooking every day, if it, I don't know. I mean, obviously there's a buy-in on that too, so that
Mhm.
could affect things as well. If it's every other day. Once the ball gets rolling, though, and money keeps coming in my vision, that would cover the buy-in on those cooks anyway. So the ball can continue rolling anyway.
All right. And when it comes to the
Here you
quality,
go,
you said you
Chad.
need a week. In a week, you're thinking to have top quality, or in a week you are just assuming it's going to be higher than where it's currently
I
at.
mean, I'm hoping, yeah, I'm hoping.
And then once it hits that quality, you want to talk numbers, right?
Yeah, once I figure out like how much I'm getting from that, because I feel like this product. Okay, in the initial conversation I had with just Nino, we tried to basically put a price point on the bags themselves, and I don't think that works with this because of the purity and how it's vastly different depending on the purity. You can't
I did it.
necessarily say, hey, I'm going to sell you a bag of meth at 55% purity for $600 flat, and then do the
You
same
his
thing for
point?
65 or 75 or 85.
Message burp.
It's not going to work. So you have to kind of figure out what the ceiling is, and then we can kind of base prices from person to person on that, since we know what the ceiling would be. If somebody pushes it on the street, they're going to take a loss, but that's their buy-in. That's on them. We don't need to
Right.
worry about that. So we need to figure out like what that looks like for people buying
Right.
from person to person.
Best moves,
And we're not going to have any of that until we just need time, essentially.
So the price changed again.
What do you mean?
These things have been. Wait, you just woke up.
Yeah, just
So there's probably some things that you're going to learn over the next little while. That things change every day. Says,
I don't think anything on the street has changed.
oh really?
Yes.
Are you aware of how much your I think it's 72% bag is making right now?
Yes.
Okay. And are you aware of the keys not rusting?
Yes.
Really? Already?
Well, I mean, I take one look at it, yeah, and yeah.
All right.
What the fuck?
So listen, sis. I don't want you to get the wrong impression. I had a conversation with you one-on-one. I want my boys to also hear this, right? And I understand that it may seem like you might be repeating yourself on some of these things.
Oh, absolutely.
But I don't want there to be I don't want them to be out of the loop because I missed something you said, or some of the concerns that
Okay.
we have are not trickled back, because
Recap.
otherwise this isn't going to work out very well. Right here, the reality is we've got a lab, you have a lab, right? And these are my partners in the lab.
Yeah, I
Recap
understand.
it.
That's why
That's
We're
why
almost
this
done, Chad.
conversation's happening. I did
part
mention
of
that
me
yesterday.
thinks that maybe it would be best for you guys to see it on your own, because I feel like I am repeating myself a lot, and I don't feel like a lot of it is sticking. So
Well, to be
it's-
fair, 90%
know,
of conversations is between you and Nino, right? This is why we're all here right now.
Yeah, that is true. But it even seems in that, I guess it's a game of telephone, but it seems like that wasn't
Right, and that's
relayed.
why we're here right now, to eliminate that game of telephone and just hear it straight from you, right?
Exactly.
So we can all be on the same
Dude,
page and move forward.
I'm too ADHD. I swear to God, I
All right.
can't like.
Well, I mean, I've been a straight shooter. You know, I've been putting everything out on the table. Even like I've been putting everything out there because I'm trying to build trust here.
Everybody, stop hating
I
on
know
Nino
there
and,
might-
and all
you
the
know,
other streamers. Don't be
it's
fucking
kind of
asshole.
just, you know, I got relations with Nino and Tony, but not necessarily
Right.
you guys. So I'm throwing shit out there in goodwill, basically.
I want him to cook. I just don't care anymore. I just
we
want him to cook.
appreciate
You know what I
that,
mean?
right? We're
I
just
just
trying
like.
to wrap our heads to make sure everyone's on the same page, so this fucking game of telephone can stop, and we can just start progressing with this, right?
Because
I'm
what,
saying
what
that
ends up
it's
happening is
almost gonna be done. I'm gonna do so much
we
pod
may
shit in a
have
second. Just
an
wait.
understanding, but then I then need to relay that and see
I don't want
if
to
the
say
boys are
anything
good
because
with
I feel
it,
like it's
right?
fucking.
and this is a stopgap.
like,
That's
rude.
why we're having this conversation and why it's worth talking about what our goals are, because you have a different set of goals than we may have.
Almost like Hassan's never been in a real meeting before.
we're
No,
here,
I
though,
have,
right?
and
guess
I
so
hate
what is
meetings.
yours
Exactly.
then? Well, that's what I'm saying. It is if that doesn't align, I guess you could do.
If you've
the
ever
other
worked
plan,
a,
you
if
know?
you've
Right, just
ever
as
worked
you're
the
shooting
office
straight,
job,
I think for
if you've
us,
ever
we
worked the
just
office
want,
job, you know
you
meetings
to
are.
cook, and we push the meth, and from our understanding, and we could be wrong here, right? That us, you cooking the meth in the lab or our lab, whatever, benefits us as much as it benefits you because we're pushing your strain, right? And then we don't have to compete with the strain in the street level market.
And again, it's completely up to you guys because there's nothing saying that maybe you guys hit the mark as well. Maybe, you know, that's completely possible as well. So two strains coexisting as
Working
well,
in my
I
meth
mean,
office was exactly
could
like.
be in the pot. Like if you're more comfortable with that, that could be a possibility as well. Nothing's really closed off here. I'm not trying to make it seem like this is one way.
I mean, I
or
think
the
everything
highway.
makes sense.
Wait,
you know what I'm
did I
saying?
miss this part
Yeah.
where you told how much are you selling right now? Like, do you think you've hit your ceiling?
No, I don't think we hit the ceiling.
You
yet.
don't think you
That's
hit
why.
the-
that's why I'm trying to wait and give it some time.
Okay, what
Now,
are
when
what are
you
you
hit
at
the
right now?
ceiling,
Do you want to tell us, or do you not want to tell us?
Wait, what?
What are you at right now? What's the price point at the moment? Like after how many bags?
Right now, I believe, at minimal, whatever the baseline was, I believe that it's at least doubled at this point,
Okay.
which is great news.
And what's the original price?
It varies on the purity, but I'm saying that number, whatever it was, I feel like it at least doubled.
And are you willing
Again,
to
this-
disclose the purity you're currently at right now?
No,
All right. So when you hit whatever purity you are satisfied with, are you going to be able to consistently hit that purity every cook, or does it
Yes.
vary still?
well, that's also something that I'm gonna try to take some time with too. But yes, I am confident that
Gabe
I'll be
Newell
able
is
to
a
hit that
meth
number.
dealer.
All right. I mean, like I said, I don't think any of us here are opposed with you cooking. As long as the benefits stay mutual, we get to push the product. If you need a finder's fee, we can work the numbers, like you said, once you get them. But to our understanding, it's just as beneficial to you as it is to us to push the same strain, right?
Yes, monopolizing the market with your strain helps you out even every single time that you make your own strain in your own lab, right? Regardless, because this way we collaborate to the highest degree.
But like I'm saying, in terms of comfort level, if you were not comfortable with that, you could very well do two, but you would just have to go through the entire process.
Yeah, no,
you know what I mean?
we understand. Look, I think it's advantageous for us to work together. I think our concerns are reasonable as far as like being worried that, you know, maybe one day you just don't want to fucking do this no more. What happens if you go to prison? Have you been to prison?
Yeah, that's understandable. No, I haven't.
Okay, so that's something I'm like legitimately concerned by, because we know that, you know, we know that labs get shut down, keys switch hands, things like that. We don't know how.
I mean, that would be the same exact. That'd be the same boat for you guys as well. The only difference is I'm not out there robbing banks and shit like that, you know. So I don't know what your guys' plan is, but again, if you think that it's more beneficial to take the risk and just build up two, we could do that as well. There's so many different options here.
So
Nothing's really off the table, I don't think.
So when it comes to, you go ahead, Donnie.
I was just gonna say, as long as I'm almost certain that as long as you don't have the fucking key on you, you can probably still go to jail. I would assume.
Wait, what do you mean?
Like you can. Like I think as long as you don't have the key on you, and you go to jail. Like, no, you don't, the crime bosses don't take it away from you. I think.
Should be hard to test any of that out, you know. I mean, are you willing to put it on the line to test it out? You know, it's I mean, I'm pretty much playing completely safe here.
Lang went to prison last
I'm trying to
night,
go
and we
all
still
in,
have the
so I'm not
key.
trying to
I don't want to
risk it at
say
all.
it.
So, Sis, this is one.
But that's
this is
what
the
what it
important
is.
part of the discussion as well, which is, you want to cook, right? But I hope you understand that,
Oh, Vinewood House.
part of this discussion needs to include how the product that is generated out of our lab, what happens with that?
Fuck.
Do you want a say in it? Do you want an equal say in it? Is there an expectation you have as to what we may decide in the future to do with said product?
Well, that's why
Right.
I was just saying. Ideally, it would be, you know, Pegasus distributes person to person, and then
Wait, Rep
Vagos
went away in
distribute on street level.
2.0?
And those decisions on who distributes on the streets. Let's say it's Vagos today. What if we decide it needs to be Grove tomorrow? Do you see this as like a joint decision making thing? Is it what are your
I feel like that would.
what
that
are your
would,
stakes
that
in
would
the
hurt.
ground is what I'm asking.
That
What are
would
the
hurt
hard
everything.
stakes? Do you have any hard stakes, or is it just like, whatever is profitable for everybody?
See, this is one of those things where I feel like you're gonna have to experience it yourself because it
Mm-hmm.
just does not seem to be sticking. I'm sorry, Nino, but I don't know. I feel like I've said this already. If you changed it up, you will reset the entire process. That's what I'm saying.
No. I fully understand that. I fully understand that your one strain sold to the Vagos to a single person. If they sell it to the locals, it increases how much they give back.
Then why
Right.
would you want GSF in it?
Well,
They
you
would
you
reset
never
the
know
entire
what
process.
changes politically, right?
Well, then it would be in our best interest to keep, the Vagos happy.
So to clarify, you only want the Vagos selling this on a street level. You want nobody else, right?
I think, again, I feel like when you see, actually, some of you guys will probably know because it's fucking taco shop. You need dedicated individuals, just like with the taco shop, dedicated individuals that are in that role. And the
Right, so-
Vagos are in that role to fill that role. If you
Right.
switch it, everything, all the work that gets built up with the Vagos will go to the wayside. It'll go all the way back down to zero.
So what you're
we totally understand that. Don't get it wrong. The
Well,
reason
just
why
to
we're
clarify
asking
for a
about
second, just to clarify for a 2nd
Mhm.
right? So if, for example, the Green Boys started selling, that's going to fuck up the Vagos' reputation, is what you're saying. Or if anyone else other than the Vagos is selling on a street level, does that fuck up their reputation? Am I understanding that correctly?
No.
It doesn't,
They-
right? But it just
No.
starts us off at the baseline. That's all that happens. Like you will still be able to sell your product at, like, let's say it's $400, right? You sell your product at $400 still. We come in, our baseline is $60. We start off at $60. You're still selling it at $400 and maybe even $500 next week. If you keep selling.
Yeah, boom. There you go.
And just to understand here too, right? Just to make sure this is clarified. Can anyone sell on a street level, or how does that exactly fuck things up if two different groups are selling at a street level?
It fucks things up. Well, it doesn't. You would have to put them. You would basically have to put them at a different spot.
Boom.
Otherwise, it wouldn't.
Chat, are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? Fuck yeah.
It's person, place, product. But all
Person, place,
three.
product. All three.
Tied together in one perfect harmony.
So at the end of
that
the
need to be in
day,
line.
Do you care if Pegasus is pushing product to people who may potentially be selling this at a street level? Because we can't really control what they do at the end of
No,
the day,
because
right?
at the end of the day, I mean, if they fucking make their way over to Vagos territory, we already have a deal with them. If they fucking hold them up, tax them, do whatever, then that's only advantageous to us.
I mean, as I said yesterday, we've already spoken with Speedy. He's
Yeah.
completely okay with us selling that. The reason I'm asking the reason the question is being asked is not because it's not obviously what you're saying is the way to maximize profits, right? No one's misunderstanding that. The way all this works, very straightforward. The question is more about if you need it to go to just Speedy for anything other than the profits, right?
Are you just saying
If a
corner
problem-
selling?
No,
Are you just
what
saying
I'm
corner
saying is
selling?
no. I'm talking more politics, right? If I don't think it's gonna happen where like us and Speedy get in a disagreement, but if like Grove Street came up to us and gave us a really good reason to start selling through them, and we decided our lab that we wanted to sell to them for whatever that reason is,
You will
would you be
effectively be hurting
opposed?
your own business. I mean, if you want to do it, you can do it, but you'd hurt your own business. That's what I'm
And
saying.
mind
you'd have no
explaining it?
problem with that.
You have no problem with that.
No, would you have a problem with that?
Yes, because that would hurt the business. Why would you want to do that?
Can you explain how that hurts the business? I'm still lost at how two groups selling at a street level hurts the business. Exactly.
So what happens? Okay, let's say hypothetically, we give an entire truckload to GSF, right? We
Right.
get GSF involved, and we say we point them to the right direction. We show them their spot on their turf. What happens when they wander their ass over to the Vagos, and suddenly, then boom, 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 shit happens. People go to jail over this. Then reps reset, which means we are no longer making the money that we used to make by building up the Vagos reputation. All of it goes down the drain. GSF's goes down the drain. Vagos goes down the drain. We make shit. That's how that trickles up.
Wait,
So
this is my last question on this, real quickly. So it's not just about. I threw out the hypothetical that like if you get arrested with a key, you might lose it, right? I don't know. It might happen. But you're telling me that like if someone in the production line, whether it's the guy on the ground with the logistic end, gets arrested, that ruins the entire fucking project? Like that.
I'm saying we have to rely on them on the street level just as much as they have to rely on us. That's how important it is.
So
Now,
it
here's
would,
the question, right?
So you're saying it would go away in its entirety? You start back at base level if a GSF guy gets arrested or a Vagos guy gets arrested.
Like, let's say buttloads goes to Speedy, right? Speedy builds his rep to a fucking crazy amount.
Right.
He's turning out bags for us. When we give him our bags, he's making triple of what they were normally worth on the street. If we push conflict to his doorstep and he goes to jail, he goes back to zero, which means that cash cow that we had at the street level goes away, which means then when we bring him the next shipment of product, he won't be able to provide us the crazy amount of money that he was able to make in the first place.
Right. Now, here's my question, right? So why would we care? Why would we change our prices when they already can see the max of what they're making? And if they go to prison and decide, hey, I want to buy this cheaper, and we say no, they're going to be very aware how much money they're missing if they refuse to grind the rep back up, right?
Wait, who?
Isn't
The
it-
Vagos?
The Vagos or whoever we sell to, why is it on us how they handle their reputation? Because they're already going to see how much money they're making. And if they
Because
wanna
we're
miss out
relying on
that,
them.
But we're only relying on them if we're willing to fluctuate prices. But if we put our foot down and say, hey, this bag is staying at this price no
Yep.
matter what, you know how much money you're making if you hit that max rep, you can get in on it or fuck off, right?
I think that is exactly where this confusion is happening, because I'm thinking exactly like Lang is.
Yeah,
But why would we
I'm
do
gonna
that? Why
agree.
would we do that to the Vagos, though? I don't understand.
It's not why we would do that to the Vagos. It's on them to run their operation clean where no one's going to prison, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
It
we're doing
convolutes
our shit
everything, doesn't it?
correctly. They should be able to handle it on their own. And if they
But
fuck
we're
up,
not if we get other people involved. We're effectively pushing competition to them. We're creating our own competition at the street level when we don't need to.
well, here's the
Why
thing.
would we do that?
If they have individual slots, can't they just stay to their own fucking assigned, streets
You
and
really
whatnot?
think that they're gonna stay in their own
Okay, well, that's the
area
thing, I
and
don't
not
know.
venture over?
I don't know. I feel like why fuck up anybody else's bag?
Is because we're going to be making more money if we're distributing to multiple groups who are aware of how much money they can be making if they hit that max reputation, right? Now, if the reputation resets and they come and saying we want lower prices because we fucked up and our reputation is down low, why is that our issue? We say
I mean,
no, these are the prices. You know how much money you can make. Get the reputation back up by buying in on these prices as a long-term investment to get your reputation back up, and it'll be making money again. And make sure you don't fuck up this time.
I feel like it's a little greedy to if we involve two Southside gangs and they end up finding out about each other and they don't like it and they want to go head to head, we are the ones that get fucked, not them.
to play devil's
Actually, no.
advocate
I mean,
here,
to go back on that, everybody would get fucked. Them, us, everybody.
to play devil's
as
advocate here,
as long as they
is-
refuse to, you're saying we get fucked, but we only get fucked if they refuse to buy at the same price point that we've adjusted for them.
But you're putting a flat rate on the bags then that they would have to buy, correct? You're not taking into account their reputation or anything like that. You're
Well, no.
saying we find the ceiling and then we price point
Yes.
based on that, and we
Yes.
make them pay that price regardless.
Yes, exactly, and obviously not like with a nice little profit margin for them up top. Exactly.
I feel like
You are,
that's
by the
like
I
a
gotta say,
bit of
you're the
a-
most considerate meth cook I've ever met in my entire life. Not that I've
Thank
met any
you.
other
Yes,
meth
please,
cook.
I
Thank
think you're
you.
being too considerate.
You're like you're trying to really skirt around other gangs' feelings and shit. I understand.
No. Here's my
No,
question.
no,
Here's my question.
okay,
Listen, listen.
here's-
Let me clarify something. real
Okay,
quick.
go ahead.
Aren't you being too considerate? Because let's say we only sell to the Vagos, and Green Boys eventually will get wind of this and fuck with the Vagos for their product, anyways.
Yeah, then
That's
I mean,
inevitable.
then let them. I mean, with the Vagos, like you said, that's up to themselves to form a defense line on that. I'm just not trying to create an active competition at the street level with our own product because that will hurt us. Whereas the other one is something that may happen. If we did this, your idea, it will inevitably happen.
Yeah, I think as long as we have the heads of each gang and talk to them, they should be smart and understanding, just like we are here. They're not dumber than us. They're gonna want to do business. They're gonna want to make money. As a matter of fact, I feel like push comes to shove. Let's say the fucking.
Well, then the way
If
that
the
you
va-
do that would be the second strain idea. Then, if you guys produced a second strain, and you guys dealt with GSF, and the other strain was for Vagos, then you would at least have a little bit of separation there. Because if you only have one product out there, it's gonna get muddy.
The thing is, if something happens to, we have to have a contingency, right? If something happens to the Vagos, then I think that it's good to have another fucking gang and know what the fuck they're doing. So let's say something bad happens to the Vagos, then GSF can move in and continue moving product. Maybe even move
Also,
product.
keep in mind this is a lot of mouths to feed. Okay, we're talking.
I agree with that
me,
too.
You guys, Pegasus in its entirety, Vagos in its entirety, now GSF in its entirety. That's a
No, but
lot
you're
of
looking at this
people.
the wrong way because you're approaching from the fact that you're willing to fluctuate the prices depending on what the reputation are. When we should set a baseline for
Yeah.
the price and say this is the baseline, you either buy in and see the potential of money you can make, or you're screwed.
I mean,
look,
that's the power of having a monopoly. Like what we're doing
guess
right
you're
now is
right.
price fixing as a monopoly. We can do whatever the fuck we want, and they have to literally go
And
and
I'm not
abide
trying to
by it if
come
they
off
want to
as
make money.
rude.
That's
No,
exactly.
you're not
it,
coming.
Sis.
It's not rude. I'm just saying
No,
it
but
might
with
be a
this
bad
bit,
deal for
sis,
the Vagos. You know
I'm
what
not-
I mean?
I'm not
But
trying to
I'm
come
trying
off
to
as
do them
rude
a
here.
solid.
Just 1 second. I'm not trying to come off as rude here, but I don't think you should be that considerate and understand you have leverage and understand the game that you're in, which I'm sure you do. Conflict is
Yeah.
inevitable. We're here to make money. Business is business at the end of the day, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's something maybe you should think about more, because I get that you want to, I guess, protect the Vagos in a sense, but at the end of the day, it's business, and I'm sure even they will understand that.
I know
just
that
wanna-
Donnie's
just
apolitical,
wanted
but
to-
does anyone know that if
I
Hasanabi
want
the
them to
streamer
see
is
the
political, he
mutual
seems to know a lot of buzzwords?
The benefits of this, but I mean, what you're effectively saying is that we should take advantage of the Vagos by making them get their rep up to hit that ceiling, and then we cap the price, and we would effectively, in a way, kind of fuck them, And
Why
I
are
get
we
it.
fucking them?
How are we
They're
fucking
making money.
them though?
Well, because I mean, the deal's always going to change, right?
Why would the deal change?
Based on I guess based on reputation, but I mean, I like you said, I'm being considerate of the reputation. Maybe I shouldn't be, but
But you're
I don't know. I
selling.
guess that's just the way I'm
shouldn't
thinking.
You're still selling
Personally,
to
but I'm
make
not gonna
sure
tell you
you
how to
know what the
operate,
price
right?
point is on the side, right?
Yeah.
So there you go. Technically, you didn't even need the fucking Vagos for this endeavor. It's still smart to, move them in and, get them in on the distribution.
I can't move the amount that.
No,
they
of
move.
course not. But what we need from someone in this circle here is to figure out what the base price point is once we hit the ceiling, right? And once you hit the ceiling, we cap it at, we max out. That's the price. They know that's how much money they can make, and we take a little bit off the top for them to turn profit, make sure that it's profitable for us, and then that's it. That's where the supply is, so we own the monopoly.
So, I mean, I think that I mean, I guess I'm fine with that, but I still feel like it might be better suited at the 2 strains then if you go down that route.
Wait, but why?
Because the cat, because I mean, well, because I feel like maybe I don't know for sure, but I don't know if the caps are going to be different in different locations. So I'm saying if you get the GSF guys involved, maybe their cap might be different than the Vagos.
So
You know what I mean?
I'm gonna throw this at a different thing that I feel I didn't know we wanted to involve the Vagos this deep, because the way we were talking about it just now is that would require the Vagos to be sitting at this seat in this table with us.
You
Right?
know, come on.
And I understand where you are coming from because it makes sense. It's how drugs move in America too, right? It gets produced in the South, it goes over the border, and then, you know, they got people in like Texas, like the gangs and shit moving. So I know where I get where you're coming from, Sis.
No, I don't think I've said I wanted the Vagos at the street level since almost day
Agreed.
one.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
I've always
Right?
wanted them in that position.
But I don't think what was ever clear to me is that Vagos would be like the main only guys, right? Because we never really discussed beyond that, because
I mean,
we
what
don't know
other
what
gangs are
we
even
don't-
down there?
we
Really?
don't know what volumes are yet, right? If we were in theory to produce so much meth, why wouldn't you give it to the Vagos and give it to Grove Street and give it to the Ballers? Is there something with the equation that fucks that up?
I said that I think in terms of the okay, so let's say situation, right? Let's say we give batches to all 3 of these that you're saying, and they get into a scuffle. All of them get into a scuffle. I don't know, hypothetically.
Over the meth or over something?
Whatever.
random?
I don't care. Anything, whatever. They fight on their turfs or whatever, right? And let's say they all go to jail and they all effectively lose their reputation. We already know the ceiling, correct? And we have our price point. What do you think the conversation is going to look like when we go to them with our next batch and we say, you know, we want X amount, but they don't have their reputation anymore? Like, what's that conversation look like? Because they all got into a fight because we've effectively pushed them towards each other. We've done this. We've manipulated it so for our own gain. We've made them all fight. We've lost
Why did
all
we
the
make them-
reputation.
I'm missing the part where we made them fight. We just came and we
Because
went
it's
to death.
inevitable that they're gonna fight. What do you mean? You think they're all gonna just stay in their lane and just sell product and not? Are you
Unrelated
kidding
to
me?
meth.
No way. They're fucking Southside gangs. You don't think they're gonna cross over at all? No way.
I mean, but that's outside of our
Yeah.
purview.
That's why I'm
Where
asking.
supply
But, like,
is.
what's that conversation look like then? When
But
they lose their
what is-
reputation and they're making $100 a
what is
bag and
the
we ask for
difference?
600, then what's that conversation?
What
look
is
like?
the difference? This is what I'm failing to understand. What is the difference between us selling to all 3? Imagine unlimited volume, right? What's the difference between selling to all 3 of them and then getting into a gang war versus selling to one of them and them getting into a gang war anyways?
Because they're not gonna know, right? We're not forcing them into this. We're
How would they know
letting it happen.
regardless, right?
Yeah, well, how would they know? How would they know that the Vagos have an entire operation going on right now? How would GSF right now know that the Vagos have an operation, right? They wouldn't. But if we start making them, we push them closer to each other, they will inevitably find out about each other. And then that from where it goes, maybe they coexist, maybe they don't. Maybe they fight for everything.
I feel like we're focusing so much on hypotheticals that are probably going to happen inevitably, but like
Yeah.
we're not even there yet.
And that's what I feel like what the gangs do shouldn't be a problem.
I agree
I
with that.
feel like I disagree. I feel like it is our problem because we rely on and well, I guess if you're making a standard price, I'm still asking how that conversation looks, because if we're setting a high price, we know the cap is say 2,000, so we cap it off at 1,000, and everybody's rep is reset. Like they affect us, we affect them. So what does that conversation look like if this happens?
So, I would, if I'm understanding your question correctly, let's say we have a strain, whatever it is, at a certain percentage. That's all we're cooking. And let's say it costs us 100 units to make. These are raw numbers, right? They don't need to match with reality. It costs us 100 units. We could, and it only sells for 50 a unit on the street, but goes up to 300.
Tony's like me. He's
Maybe
losing
we
his
would
mind right now,
target
probably.
150 or 250, you know, enough to that makes us comfortable, and they will know over time that they need to invest back into meth until they themselves turn a profit. We don't need to hold them their hand through the process, because some of these guys, correct me if I'm wrong, if they go to jail for anything, their rep is reset, right?
I believe so. I mean, that's a theory.
So,
I don't know if anybody's been
These
arrested.
guys
yet,
are
but-
inevitably going to go to jail because they decided to shoot each other because some guy fucking pissed on their lawn, or because they decided to rob a bank, or they fucking kicked the cop or whatever. The moment we're like, I feel like we're trying to micromanage these gangs, like we're taking on so much fucking responsibility that doesn't make any sense. That's goes back to why I didn't realize we were trying to go this deep with the Vagos. I thought we were just gonna sell it to them. It was just a deal. I never thought we were gonna, ever
here's another
take on that
problem.
much.
Here's another problem. What's to stop Vagos from just lying to us and saying they lost the rep? Or what's to stop us from, like, I mean, I don't know why we're assuming the risk for them. I guess, like, ultimately, we are a monopoly supplier. We do not have to take on the liability. That's the advantage that we have. I don't understand why we need to assume their risk for
I mean,
them.
it's trust factor, I guess. But like, I mean, if you don't establish the relationship, if you assume the worst, then yeah, I mean, I guess
But the
worst could
relationship is
happen.
us going to them already and saying like, hey, we trust you to do the distribution. Here you go. Here's some fucking drugs. Don't fuck this up. If you fuck this up, you're not going to make as much money as you want off of these. You're going to have to build that reputation back up if you, you know, be a dumbass and go to fucking jail.
And then on top of that, I don't really see where Pegasus comes in as distribution, because you can't rely on Pegasus to only push the people who are never going to sell on street level. You can't assume that they're going to just do that. What's to stop Pegasus from giving 10 bags to Bill, and Bill goes and flips it to the Green Boys anyways, and they're already pushing? Because the way you're making it
He's not
seem
wrong.
is that the main focus is the Vagos and only the Vagos. And if that's the case, Pegasus here is null and void. They're not going to be able to do anything.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like I'm looking at it more as like a joint operation with them. I mean, I feel like you guys are just kind of more thinking of it like, you know, we set the standard and that's that pretty much. I don't know. I guess.
Okay,
that,
I want to hear your
I
side
don't
on this
mind.
before, but I got to dip out, I think. But I want to hear your side on this.
Yeah, same.
Why do you? What are your concerns with the
This
current
call's really
monopoly
important. I'll be right
power that
back.
we hold on to? Is it because you think that someone else is gonna get the fucking last lab, or is there even another lab we don't even fucking know anymore? But let's
Well,
say
there is
someone else.
another lab. I mean, is it
Yeah, that's what I'm saying,
operational?
like-
we don't know. I mean, could that disrupt this whole thing as well? I mean,
Exactly,
That
is
very well
'cause
be a possibility.
That's a legitimate fear. That's a legitimate concern. I'm totally there with you, except anyone with more than 3.5 fucking brain cells is going to recognize that coming into this partnership is going to be advantageous for them as well, right? So you can do exactly what you did to us originally to whoever the fuck gets that last lab, and we can figure it out from that point on and continue maintaining our monopoly in the market.
I think like I'm not opposed to the route that you guys want to take, but I do feel like that would be better suited towards the 2 strain. Because if GSF has their own strain, they won't bat an eye. You know, if Vagos have their own strain, they won't bat an eye. And you know, maybe they coexist for the time being until they inevitably cross over.
Well,
I feel
here's
like
the other
we'd
thing.
still,
We
you
can
know-
stop cooking if they fucking piss us off. Again, if they fucking don't play nice, we stop cooking. Of course, all of this hinges on us making sure we have the 3rd lab together.
That's true, but yeah, that's true. Because
If we maintain the 3rd lab, it doesn't matter if it's us. If it doesn't matter if it's you alone. Ultimately, it really doesn't matter, because if you're going to be the fucking single strain sole recipient or the head chef, it doesn't even matter if we own the 2nd lab or not. Ultimately, you're kind of the linchpin here, and we're going to be fine. As long as we maintain monopoly power over the market, we are the sole suppliers. They're going to fucking make money as long as they don't fuck up. So what we need to do right now, it seems like, is figure out what the top price point is, what the ceiling is for this thing, right? Make sure that we lock that shit in, and then set up our prices, and then after that, we could fucking sell it to all the gangs, as long as they are. You all right there, Tone?
Yeah, I'm just agreeing.
Oh, okay. As long as they're not, tell them we're not gonna fucking give you shit if you fight with one another, and we're gonna fucking limit your supply, and get them to buy it with the
right.
knowledge that they know that they're gonna fucking build a reputation eventually.
I mean, I like that plan. That's actually, I mean, you're actually really smart. Man, you weren't even around for the taco shop days.
Yeah, well, thank you. I just, I don't know. I just watch a lot of
I do
movies.
still
guess.
think that that would be more beneficial for like the second strain, though. And
But I guess
I do
regardless,
like
is
that.
you have a week to consider what you actually want, because what it sounds like from me is you want the Vagos heavily involved in the selling, which is fine, but
Well, they have to be at least as of right now,
I personally
right?
think you're being way too considerate of, and I get that you have
I
relationships
agree.
with people, but at the end of the day, business is business. Nobody should be getting emotional over business. We're all here to make money, right? And
Yeah,
in my
I
mind,
agree.
maybe I don't understand it to the complete level, but more groups pushing out the same strain is going to make us money because we have more people buying our product. We're not heavily worrying about one group being capable of pushing that product out.
It simplifies things too. Like if we did it the way I have it in my mind is that it would be a lot simpler if we had agreed to, you cook in our lab. We agree on how many bags are produced by every lab, and we
But
agree
why would
how
we
much
need you, though?
how
If
much
GSF
a
is just getting their
how
own,
much
then they
a-
could just build their own.
hold on. We have a lab, you have a lab. We agree you cook for us, right? You figure out whatever fee that would be. All right. We see if it works for us. We agree how much both labs are going to produce bag wise, right? And we figure out how much those bags go for. And whatever we decide to do with the bags, we do with the bags. Ideally is to go with the Vagos. If we decide that, so be it. But if we decide to sell to somebody else, like whether it's, wholesale to another group or whatever, like going into those nitty gritties is just going to add a lot of confusion to the mix.
Well, that's why I'm saying if it's two strains and you guys continue to operate as normal, then we can divvy these up to the different groups and not have to worry about it. And then you don't have to worry about me not being around or schedule and all that shit. You don't have to worry about any of that. We just agree that we'd come to the table pretty much and understand where we're putting all the product at the end of the day. If your guys' strain goes to GSF and mine goes to Vagos, then boom, there you go. Like Donnie said, those contingencies are in place for them. If they fight, then we're cutting them out. Then sure, then they have to play ball and they have to fucking build their reps and essentially make the money right on the street level. I think that's kind of like the best of both worlds there, and it's kind of a good middle ground, I think, across the board. Because they can't necessarily fuck us, I guess.
All right. Well, anyways, you have a week to get whatever it is you're waiting for. Once you get it, I guess we talk again.
All right.
But at least we're on some same level of the page right now, I guess.
Yeah, I
Especially
agree.
Tony's been listening the whole time. You can tell.
Tony, did you gather that?
I mean, it's hard to learn about a meeting when you weren't there for the first one, so
Oh, that's true. All right.
I'm just sitting there.
You're a really smart guy, Donnie.
Hey, thanks, man. I try to be valuable where I can.
You haven't been around for any of this other shit, but you got a pretty good grasp on this.
I try.
Sorry about you, Kane. Hey,
All right,
Sis.
sis, you have a good day. All right.
I love you.
Yeah,
See
you
you later,
too. Well,
cutie.
see ya.
All right.
You know, we've recapped the entire first meeting so you can be caught up, right?
Yeah, that's a good.
Oh no, I learned everything.
I want to hear what your guys' thoughts on that was. I don't want to pollute my opinion in it. So what was your take?
I think Sis is too nice to be a drug dealer.
Yeah.
I agree.
think-
Essentially my take.
Once we know the price, we pay for the batch, and we just maybe pay a little fee on top with the batch. You know what I'm saying? Get a product and just move it.
I don't think he realizes that he originally came in wanting me to distribute, but now he's saying who you need to distribute to, right? And my concern with that is like, imagine how, if we were cum stacking there, imagine how much cum stacking we're gonna do when
Doesn't
Speedy's
that just
in
mean
the
you're the
mix.
distributor then?
No, cum stacking
that
means
was the
sitting in a
no,
meeting.
That was the original idea. So the original idea was
Mm-hmm.
for Nino just to distribute, and where the wrench is now is he clearly wants the Vagos heavily involved, which literally makes Nino distributing pointless. If he
Mm-hmm.
doesn't want any other group selling at a street level.
Right.
And
Honestly,
even,
honestly, I think a
and
big
don't
part of this
mind,
equation
like,
is figuring out the third lab, guys. Figuring out what the fuck it is, camping it out. Maybe we can get him and his boys to do it since they did such a good fucking job last time around. Maybe we can involve the Pegasus boys to do it. That way, you know, Sis feels more beholden to them. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I don't want to make it seem like Pegasus needs to do something in particular, right? Like, I'm open to like whatever the fuck. My more concern is, should he be dictating that they distribute? What if we as a group decide in
don't.
2 weeks we
Looking for
want
a
to
van for
push
the
a bunch of
house.
product
It's right there.
on
Right
Forum Drive? Because let's say Dex said, hey, you guys can push on Forum, right? And we decided the nerds and Pegasus start selling on the street.
Yeah, yeah.
by the way, Nino, I'm about to hit a house, so you don't. I know you don't like it, so I'm just
Oh,
letting you
shit.
know. If you want to take the G-Wagon and back
yeah.
there.
No, I'll stick around.
Oh, all right,
I'm,
good.
I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this.
No, I let it know, and I think if we're gonna do monopoly power as this sole supplier in the entire city, we should take advantage of that. Like, I find it real
Yeah, I mean,
strange
you
that
have
we're not
to.
gonna.
It's business.
I find it real strange that, like, you know, we're effectively creating a monopoly while also simultaneously caring about the logistical hurdles that the people that are buying from us are going to go through.
Yeah, who the fuck cares? As long as money's in my pocket, that's all the fuck I care about.
Well, no. But like,
Exactly.
here's the other thing.
Like,
Here's the other thing. Like,
Yeah, go ahead.
ultimately, we could fucking sidestep and you know, get people to push it ourselves. Obviously, that's last case, and that's never gonna happen because it's not fortuitous for us. But with that knowledge, to me, it doesn't make fucking sense that we would be so worried as to like what their profit margin looks like on the ground. Especially when, you know, you don't need to care about these things when you're a monopoly.
I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's not our issue. Tony put it the best way to put it. As long as money is in our pocket, why do we give a fuck what
Yep.
happens after that?
Yep.
I don't like how complicated, like, to me, it's so complicated when we're like, how much is it on the street? How much is their top number? And this and this and this. It's going to be so confusing. Why can't we just say, here's the bag price, you know, you take it or leave it?
17 minutes.
I need food and wine.
Oh, come on. Come on.
You guys are aware that meeting potentially can make us about maybe 10,000 million multiple times amount of a house, right?
I know. I'm completely aware of that, which is why you know, I'm listening in intently and sitting through the meetings, and also, you know, pointing out what I think is the right thing to do. It's not like I'm not doing it justice, right?
I think at the end of the day, it's safe to say we don't give a fuck about what the gangs do. We just want to push product and make money. I think
isn't
getting
the
into the
simplest-
political...
Yeah.
Okay.
Ultimately, I agreed with you and made that point, by the way. So I don't know why you're making
No,
it
I
seem
know,
like
I
I wasn't
know.
paying attention or something.
No, what I'm saying is, all right, we should not care what the gangs do. We set a price. We let them know how much they can make, and if they're willing to set up an operation where they can hit that peak of reputation, that is all on
Exactly.
them. We should not care how they run their operations. We're right here to manage everything. We're here to push product. That's it.
Right.
The bit that really threw me in a loop is the Vagos conversation, because I have from very early on
You got a line
assumed he's thought through this
I
and
do, but
knows
give me a
that if
second
you
one just to be
only
safe.
sell to the Vagos, they're inevitably all going to jail at some point. They hit fucking fleekas and shit. They get into shootouts all the, like, what are you
Well,
gonna hire a bunch of Vagos that never go to jail?
Hey, here's the thing, by the way.
Exactly.
Hold
That's
hold
actually
on.
another good point.
It doesn't make any sense.
Lang went to jail last night.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
he's not
yeah.
pushing on the street.
No, I know. My fear was that if you go to jail and, you know, you're the head chef, I was worried that, you know, your entire fucking operation falls apart. I guess you have to have the key on you. You know what I mean? I was worried that, like,
Oh, the
actually,